Okay, so today we're talking about adding and subtracting exponents, which kind of leads us into an intro to polynomials. Polynomials is your first big Math 1 concept that we'll build on for a while. So first of all, we're going to just kind of look at polynomials. And, you know, poly is a word cell that means many. Okay, so it's kind of many numbers put together. But we in math don't call it numbers. We call it terms. So if you had this, this is a polynomial, okay? And it has three terms, okay? It has three terms. This is a term. This is a term. And that is a term, okay? They're called terms. Now, we call this a trinomial. Tri means three, has three terms, trinomial. Okay? Sometimes you will see something like this. This has two terms. It is a binomial. Then if you had something like this, one term it is a monomial, okay? Trinomial and binomial, that's our big things, okay? 3 and 2 terms. Well, today we're going to talk about what do we do when you're adding and subtracting polynomials, okay? This is not an 8th grade concept. If you notice, I stopped. You guys do adding and subtracting for Math 1. You don't do that for 8th grade, okay? So this is more of a Math 1. So when you're adding a polynomial, so here's our example. If I was reading this, I'd say, okay, I have two binomials. I have 8x squared plus 1, that's one binomial. I'm adding it to another binomial, 12x squared plus 6. Okay? When you are adding, all you have to do is combine like terms. See, you guys combine like terms in 6th grade and 7th grade, but the word terms, you probably didn't know why it was called terms. I want to explain it to you. You're combining the numbers that are alike. When you are adding, just like when you multiply and divide and raise to a power, there is a rule that you follow. When you are adding, don't touch the exponent. You will never change an exponent when you are adding. I can only combine things that are exactly alike. For instance, I can add 8x squared and 12x squared because they have the same exponent. They are in the x squared family. They can go together. Okay? all you do is add your whole number. All you do is add your whole numbers. You're not going to change x squared. You're going to have an x squared. You're just going to say 8 plus 12 is 20. Then I can combine my numbers. It's just numbers. 1 plus 6 is 7. And when you're adding and also when you're subtracting, you're not going to have one little number in. Okay? Does everybody see that? Adding is easy. Because all you're doing with adding is combining like terms. I'm adding. I know I'm adding because there is a plus sign between my two parentheses. You say, well, duh, Miss Petite. But in a moment, you'll see why that's important. I'm adding. I know I'm adding because there's a plus sign. I know my rule for adding. Adding. Don't touch the exponents. All I'm doing is adding whole numbers. Technically, all I'm doing is combining like terms. I have an x4 and a 9x4. Technically, there's a 1 in front of this number, so I have 10x to the 4. I have a 4x and a 7x, so I have 11x. The one thing kids mess up on when you throw a negative in there. A lot of times kids want to leave that negative out. They just don't pay attention to it. I'm adding. I know I'm adding because there's a plus sign right here. I'm not going to touch my exponents. All I'm going to do is combine like terms. 5 plus 1 is 6x squared. Then I come to my next term, which is 1x and negative 8x. 1 minus 8 is a negative 7x. And then 1 plus 20 is 21. So now if I'm subtracting, subtracting has one extra step than adding. Okay? There's one step we have to do in subtracting that we don't have to do in adding. Yes, we're still combining like terms. We still don't touch the exponents. You're not going to touch the exponents. But if you're subtracting, if you have a little minus sign right here, try to teach the kids to circle it and draw an arrow back there. if you are subtracting, you have to change the sign of all the terms behind the subtraction symbol. Mathematically speaking, you are distributing a -1. So when I'm subtracting, I've got to recognize, first of all, that I'm subtracting. And here's what happens. It's not that this is hard. This is not hard. But kids think, I can eyeball this. I'm good enough to eyeball this. I don't have to write stuff down, and then you miss a sign. And you miss one sign and your whole problem's wrong. So what I tell kids, and I can't make you do it, but if you miss it, you're like, oh, okay? Rewrite what you have in the front. Just rewrite it. Because you have recognized there is a minus, just rewrite, changing your sign, what's behind. Now when you do this, you're just going to have a line of terms, okay? And all you are doing at this point, once you rewrite your stuff, you are then just going to combine your like terms. I'm going to have an x to the 4th in my answer. 17 minus 10 is 7. Then I want you to watch. 2 minus 1, if your back term is positive, it's just plus. If it's negative, it'll just be minus. Then I can't combine those any further.
Will they ever, on the behind the subtraction symbol, will they ever have like an already negative number in there?
Yes, I'll show you one. So when I'm doing these, that's why I said it's important to recognize what are you doing. Because when they throw these at you, they're not going to say, okay, now we're going to do about 5 multiplying, and we're going to do about 5 dividing. They're just going to throw random problems at you. And so you've got to recognize, okay, what's going on? All right, we're subtracting here. I know my rule. My rule says I've got to change everything behind my subtraction symbol. So I'm going to rewrite what I have in front. And then I'm going to change this to a negative w squared. I'm going to change this to a negative w. I'm going to change this to a plus 9. Once you rewrite that, you just have a line of terms. Now, you're playing a matching game. That's all you're doing. You're matching up your like terms. Don't forget the signs that are in front of your terms. Don't forget them. They have to go with it. So 6w squared minus w squared is 5w squared. If I have a long line of them, I mark out, so I don't have to worry. I don't want to keep staring at stuff. I have a negative 3w And a negative w, well, negative 3 and negative 1 is negative 4w. Don't forget your variable. It's got to go with it. And then 1 and 9 is 10. Now, guys, that's as difficult as it's going to get. And it's not that these are difficult, but if you try to go super fast, I guarantee you'll leave a negative out somewhere. One little negative is gonna mess you up. Okay? But as far as being hard, they're not hard. You know what you're not going to have to worry about with adding and subtracting? Negative exponents. There's not going to be any of them. There's not going to be any negative exponents in adding and subtracting. Okay? I'm going to give you 2 problems to do on your own. In your notes. These are just in your notes. Now look at these. Look at this. And now I'm gonna do this with you. I'm not doing this on you. Write this down. Do it with you. On this problem, you can combine stuff inside your parentheses first, right? Okay. Now I've seen kids do this several different ways, and I don't care which way you choose. I start here and I say, what's my first term? Well, my first term is a 7y squared. And then I look through here and I say, okay, do I have any more 7y squares? Any more y squares? Yes, I do. I know I'm going to have a y square in my answer. I'm going to add 7, 8, and 3. Well, 7 plus 3 is 10, plus 8, that's 18. I've seen kids that say, well, I want to add it up in the parentheses first. Fine, I don't care. I don't care how you do it. You're adding, so I don't care. So my next thing is a y. And then I look and I say, okay, yeah, I've got more y's. Here's a y. Here's a y. Well, you know, negative 3 and 4 is going to be 1, and then 1 plus 4 is 5y. All right, so this one you're going to do on your own. So number one, I'm subtracting. I know I'm subtracting because I have a subtraction sign here. So I know I'm going to have to change the signs of everything behind my subtraction symbol. I'm going to rewrite what I have in front. In the back, I'm going to have a negative 8x cubed. I'm going to have a negative 3. And I'm going to have a plus 8x squared. So I have a line of terms. So I have my first term is 2x cubed. Do I have any more x cubes up there in that line? And there's a silence across the room. Let me ask that again. I must have that thing where I'm not. In what I rewrote. I've already rewrote my stuff. All I'm doing is playing the matching game. 2 minus 8 is what? Negative 6x cubed. I'm done with the x cubes. The next term I come to is an x squared. Do I have any more x squares up there?
Yes.
Yes. Negative 5 and 8 is 3x squared. Done with the x squares. Then I have a negative 1 and a negative 3. When I combine the negative 1 and negative 3, I get minus 4. So your answer, negative 6x cubed plus 3x squared minus 4. Yes? You sure? Okay. All right, the next one I'm adding. So if I'm adding, all I do is play the matching game, combining like terms to begin with. My first term I come to is 7x cubed. Do I have any more x cubes in that one?
No.
Nope, so just rewrite it. Boom, it's going to be in your answer. I have a negative x. Do I have any more just x's up there?
Yes.
Yes.
X.
Negative 1 and negative 3 is negative 4x. I have a 3x squared. Do I have any more x squares up there?
Yes.
Yes. 3 plus 8 is 11x squared. And then over here at the end I have a minus 4 and I can't forget it. Okay. These are not hard. You just got to go slow with them. Open up your math books to page 465. So on page 465, you are going to do numbers 51 through 56. Then on page 472, everybody look at 472. At that bottom section down there, you're going to do numbers 1 and 2. So I still think I come under that 10 problem thing there. Okay? So that's what you're going to do. Tomorrow your weekly is due as well. Okay? So this and your weekly. Tomorrow, guys, tomorrow you are going to have an exponent review assignment that you're going to have to do and turn into. Okay? All right. Get busy.
Is this our homework?
It's your classwork. I bet you can get it done.
Yeah.